Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Contest of Speed. We're here live from Spa, one of the oldest circuits on the calendar for EU1 and their 9th race of the, well, technically their 8th, but their 9th round of the season. And I have a new co-commentator for tonight. It's a very special day. The mighty Stumpy's here.
I am. I'm here. I'm ready. Let's go.
Yeah, half of the infamous Team Stumpchi is here to go through tonight's proceedings with us. Hopefully the other half will appear at some point as well, which would be fun for us all. So first car out on track then is going to be Denzo, who is finally here to take to the grid. He's finished his uni work and his coursework. He's now free on an evening. First man out, he's on the medium tyre.
Yeah, what sort of lap times are we expecting from the big boys?
Oh, well, I think it'll depend actually how much they're able to push in these conditions, because the track's going to be quite cold. Current track temperature is only 26 degrees, so it's not particularly warm. If they can get the soft tyres up to temperature, then we might be able to see some quick times, especially as we get track evolution. I'm not quite sure what we'll be looking at. I think most qualifyings this week actually have been in the wet, so we've not seen what the outright pace of other tiers has been.
I think we're going to head towards, I want to say low 51s, low to mid.
You'd think maybe, wouldn't you? I think some of the really quick guys like your Passassins, Fruits, Milan as well.
Established drivers, haven't we? Like Fruitful, Milan we know is mighty quick. I'm really interested to see what Jamie James is going to do, because he's been quite a bit faster in EU2 at points. Like in Monaco, he was nearly a second faster than second position on the grid in qualifying. So it's going to be interesting to see what he can deliver in this.
Definitely, yeah. Particularly if he's able to maintain his pace with ABS off as well. I don't know if he uses ABS or not in his normal tiers races, but if he doesn't and he's able to maintain that pace, he'll be up there in the fight as well, probably for points. But riding on board with Denzo then, first lap in anger, heading down the Kemmel Straight. 30.5 through the first sector for Denzo. Okay, he gets loose on the exit there, doesn't it?
Just got away from him a bit there. I think he just took a bit too much curve, which if you're taking too much speed, it just unsettles the car a little. We saw No Name there, took plenty on the exit, throws it into Puon, but that's running a bit wide, I think.
He's got away with it, somehow.
Yeah, he's got away. Yeah, into Fania chicane, down to fourth. Yeah, that car's unsettled. There's no curves on that tyre.
Just be careful though, it'll kick like a mule if he puts the power down too soon as well. I think that one was just taking too much on entry. 45.1 for the middle sector, that's not particularly quick. Fruit, as has C-Box, and then both McLaren drivers as well have beaten it. So that's to be expected. He's on the medium compound. We'll see now as we head to the line. 44.3 for Denzo. And then Passassin. Yep, 41.9 for Passassin. Recently left Ecos to go to TTG. We wish him all the best. He will be sorely missed. And they better look after him, or they'll have us all to answer to. So, going down the order, Jamie James is out on he's on his out lap at the moment. I'm going to jump across to Kit and Petter. America, well, it's a full America's takeover at McLaren, isn't it? Both Kitten and Andy Wu. I think those guys are teammates in AM1. And Jamie James has just started his lap, so we'll ride on board. Sounded like he was flat through Eau Rouge and Radion. .30.1 at the end of the first sector. He's on par with Passassin at the moment. And this boy has certainly got some ability if he can hold it and stay close to that powerhouse of the community. Kick of oversteer through No Name. Holds it well though. Into Pouon. Through well, we'll see if a little bit of oversteer No Name's going to cost him in the middle sector. We're looking for a 43.4 to pop up. And he's hit a 43.8. So he's about half a second off Passassin at the moment. So we're looking probably around Cameron and Seabox, depending on what his final sector time is. 28.3 is the current purple time. Because it's very, very close. It's almost a flat out straight line. And he goes into fourth place. He pulled out a 28.3, matched the best final sector. Jamie James into fourth place. Calzo up to second. Cameron then, the other Aston Martin, into third. Be looking for a good result tonight. He's had a couple of rough rounds. Milan as well, back on the grid, now representing Shazoo. Rage Bolly, a new driver for EU1. He's stepping in tonight to fill the seat at Red Bull. Will probably be getting a full-time seat as of next week. There will be quite a few new faces next week, actually. We're going to be ringing the changes, as we've had some pretty poor attendance recently, and of course last week we didn't run at all due to lack of numbers. So let's ride with Bolly then. We'll do a full lap of Spa. Heading down after La Source, down the hill towards Eau Rouge. And then Radion to the right. And then Kemmel onto the Kemmel Straight. Here's your speed trap as we head towards the end of the first sector. Through Le Com and then down the hill towards Brussels. We keep it tight to the apex of the corner, squeeze on the power, then down the hill to the 90 left of No Name, which in itself means it does have a name. Then Pouon. That must be a great corner to drive, really. Then Fania chicane. You want to avoid the curb on the entry to the right-hander. Left-hander, you can take a bit of the curb if you're careful. Into Campus and then Stavolo onto that back straight. Well, the isn't straight really. See Blanchimont appearing ahead of us in the dry in these cars. It is flat out. It's barely even recognisable as a corner. And finally into the bus stop chicane. And then back to the start-finish line. Powers for it now. We're looking for Rich Bolly. He's in P4, 42.3 for him. Just deposes Jamie James from that top 4 spot. Across to the other Red Bull now, we've got Spod, who had his best result since joining EU2 last night. Was on for a top 5 finish, ended up finishing 8th after a spin at the final corner on the final lap. But he likes this circuit. He's confident round it. There's no rain tonight, which will help him. And he's just here to give it his best, see what he can do, I believe. I think anyone who watched last night will as well. We'll see how Spud's doing. It's a 30.4 through the first sector and a 44.9 through the second sector. He's not going to set the world alight with those, but banker time on the board is what we need from him here, and that's what it's going to be, assuming he can make it through the bus stop unscathed. She has done. DRS opens, goes for the line, 44 dead for Spud. He's ahead of Denzo, Kitten, Electric Blade, Matt, Fruitful and Hasmania on laps at the moment, but have yet to set a time. Assassin has improved his previous best. He's now down to a 41.7. He's riding on board with the People's Champion. See whether he's going to have enough to go again, or whether he's going to have to stop and essentially turn this into a one-shot qualifying session.
Yeah, that's the problem with this track, isn't it? It being such a long lap, like you know, at this stage, if you get it wrong, you've either got enough fuel to go again, or you, like you say, you have to come in and turn it into a one-shot quali, which, if you haven't got time on the board, is not ideal.
No, it isn't, and so we say, Spud got himself a lap in with the 44.0. If none of the guys behind him improve, then he's going to start 11th, which is ideal. Or ride with Fruit. Keeps it flat through Eau Rouge and Radion, as we expect from this calibre of driver. He did have enough to go again. As we say that, see, Spud's got his banker in, and then he's crashed at Stavolo. So he'll be hoping that nobody improves behind him now. Oh, Fruit running wide at No Name Corner, just could not get the turn in. The car wallowing around on the entry. Like trying to steer a bath. I mean, I'm a fan of understeery cars, but that is a man on the ragged edge throwing it through corners there. Hasmania in the pits then. Seabox, let's have a look at him. Possibly another man who could be getting a full-time drive.
Judging from his name tag, I'm assuming he's Irish. Is that League of Ireland?
It is League of Ireland.
Connell runs that, doesn't he?
He does. Connell and Big Slater. For those who've been around long enough, will remember Slater from the. Well, I'm trying to think. When was Slater? Was it season 4, season 5?
Yeah.
It's a fair crack of a go, wasn't it?
Mostly.
Yep, and then he dabbled in EU1 as well. Went away to set up League of Ireland, and they've had great success.
Sort of mellow now. We've only got what, 4 cars on track at the minute. Is that?
Yeah. 4 cars out. 2 AlphaTauris. Matt's out in the other Williams. He didn't finish last night in EU2, so he'll want to improve on that and at least get to the end. Interestingly enough, no one's improved to get ahead of Spud for 11th yet.
Yeah, the big trouble with this track is like with qualifying, especially like that. We got such a mix of drivers in terms of like they're all good, obviously, but
yeah,
like there's the big guys like Assassin and like the midfield. They've got to push to get the time because it's a 10th maybe 2/10 is going to make the difference. And it's so easy to invalidate around this track.
Yeah, and Matt's coming in at the pits, and I would have thought he'd continue, to be honest. He's assuming that our timer's right, he is going to be pushing that one. It's going to take him at least 2 minutes to do an outlap, so he's going to have 30 seconds to get that car turned around and back out on track. Let's have a look at Cameron then in the Aston Martin on his outlap at the moment. Now the sole remaining ECOS man in this tier, Thomas having to take a break because of his injured toe, from what I understand, which makes braking impossible for poor Thomas. I should take the load cell out.
Yeah. Just switch the pad.
Yeah. Turn manual gears off, do what Titch did once and make your paddles your equivalent to your pedal.
Oh, I remember that race.
I don't know.
I think that was Japan, I think he did that.
Yeah. I also found out about Titch recently that when he was on pad, I don't know if he still does this, where he has the right analog stick as his accelerator and brake.
Yeah, that's his thing. That's just...
Never got that.
It's weird to everyone apart from the Riley household.
Yeah. Which, yeah, that really did confuse me when he first told me. I was like, why?
I get the theory.
Oh yeah,
apparently, like the input is so much smoother and all that, but like, it would just be too weird for me to do it.
I wouldn't be able to keep my thumb under control. I'd end up just throwing it forwards.
Yeah, send
it. Give me everything. So Cameron then through the first sector improves by around half a tenth. He's 0.02 off Passassin through the first sector. But he is quicker than Calzo.
I hope Fruitful's got enough to go again. He's just invalidated.
He's going to have to, I think, isn't he? Rage Bolly has improved and gone to third. Got everybody currently on a lap, and Cameron has invalidated. So, assuming he's got enough to go again, he'll be able to. We'll jump to Passassin a little bit later on. Jammy James then first. Who, through the first sector, has improved marginally, about 15 thousandths. Again, another little kick of oversteer there on the exit of No Name.
Yeah, Fruitful is done. He's 17th, he will start in last.
The People's Champion going for a last to first. Kitten Better improves to get ahead of Spod into 11th place. We've got what appears to be a Williams running very wide. Is it a Williams or is it an Alpine? It might be Milan's Alpine actually at Stavolo. Jamie James again improving by about 20 thousandths this time through the middle sector, so we could be looking at potentially a 10th up all told, which might move him. Not quite. Improves by 8.5 hundredths. Stays P5 for now. Calzo then, he has invalidated his run. Passassin has improved through sector 1, was slower through sector 2 by almost a second actually. So I think there's been a mistake in there somewhere. He'll come straight into the pit lane, yeah, to call it a day. Cameron is going to come in as well, and I think, yep, everyone else is in the pits. That's all she wrote.
Interesting. So nobody could get close to Passassin at the end?
No. I think the only ones who would have had a chance are going to be Calzo and Cameron. Maybe Fruit if he could have hooked the lap up, but that Williams just doesn't look comfortable. And he doesn't look comfortable driving it either. Hasmania getting a 2-minute lap in, and that puts him ahead of Fruit, which is obviously in itself not great.
And as you were mentioning before about Spud, he only ended up losing one position.
Kitten then taking that coveted 11th place, Spud in 12th. But that's why you go and put a banker lap in. As we both know, and everyone watching will know, that Fruitful could have done a 43 with his eyes closed, and that would have put him into the 11th place position, which would have given him prime choice of tyres. But I don't know what went on. We'll maybe find out at some point. Assassin then takes pole. Calzo in second. Rage Bolly on his debut in third place. Cameron fourth. Konzo fifth. Jamie James in sixth. Great performance from him there. Seabox seventh. Milan eighth. Arbar ninth. And Andy Wu in 10th. Kitten 11th. Spud 12th. Denzo 13th. Electric Blade 14th. Matt in 15th. Hasmania 16th. And Fruitful 17th. With all the work to do.
It could be a blessing in disguise. We all know how crazy it can get up Eau Rouge and things like that, so he might avoid the
carnage.
The melee.
Yeah. Top 10, of course, have to start on the tyres they qualified on. In this case, that is everybody going to be starting on the soft tyre. Outside of the top 10, they have free choice. It's brilliant what a democracy can give you. So they can choose whatever they like, soft, medium or hard. And they could throw some interesting strategies our way with their choices. The main strategy I think we're going to be looking for is a one-stop, soft to medium or medium to soft, depending on safety cars, etc.
What would you do now if you're outside the top 10?
I'd go medium.
Strategy. Medium?
Definitely. Soft tyres will do at least 12, 13 laps. So I think if you start on the mediums now, you've got the opportunity to potentially change onto the softer tyre.
Yeah. And everyone apart from Kit and Peter, he started on softs. Everyone else has done like you said, and is on medium tyres. So.
The thing is, you're not going to lose out on anything, because if you get the chance to stop early for the guys ahead, then they can go to the end and the mediums will do it, but they're going to be slower at the end when you're on the soft tyre. And if it comes out at the right time, then it's not actually going to affect anybody, and you've just got a fresh set of softs when the others are going to have to go on mediums.
Yeah. And another thing is, like, if it's a normal race, no safety cars, all you've got to attempt to do, it's not that easy, but just stay in the DRS train and that'll pull you along.
Yeah, it's one of them things that I think, I'll be honest, I think the front five are going to run away with it, and they're going to go and leave everyone else behind. The battle here is for the final 5 points paying positions, and I think anybody on the grid from Jamie James downwards could have those places, depending on how the race goes. I think Hasmania is going to struggle, if I'm honest. Out of everybody, I think he's the one that's possibly standing out as the weaker in terms of his overall pace. I hope he proves me wrong. And then, of course, we've got to see if Fruitful can carve his way through the pack, which I should be interested to see. Actually, it poses to be quite an interesting fight to see him do that, and if he can get a good result. But I think it's Assassin's stranglehold on this race at the moment. I was about to say it's his to lose there, but it's we've not even started yet. So let's get the position change graphic up that everybody loves so much.
Blaze in the chat saying Assassin, Konzo and James.
Oh, to be honest, I was about to say that's quite bold. I don't think it is. If we lose any of the guys in the current top 5, then Jamie James is going to be right in there in a well-timed safety car or a VSC. pull him right into the mix. So let's get ready then to go racing for the final time this week at Spa. And I think, because I'm not hosting, we won't have the lights glitch. So let's get ready then. 3, 4, 5 lights. And away we go. There's no glitch, it's brilliant. It's a good start from Calzo. He's got ahead of Passassin, but who's going to be on the inside in the Aston Martin to hold the lead. Calzo goes very wide though, and he's going to challenge side by side down towards Eau Rouge and Radion. Got Rage Bolly in there as well. They're still going side by side through, and great move from Calzo around the outside of Radion to take the lead. We've got a retirement from Spod as well. He's lost it, and a VSC is out.
Oh, that's going to be carnage for people that are side by side, you know, battling for position to see who was ahead. Not seeing any penalties pop up for ignoring yellow flags just yet.
No, we've got a couple of warnings though. Denzo on 2 already, and then we've got Matt, Milan, Konzo, all with 1.
Yeah, so Calzo with a great start.
Yeah, got the launch off the grid, forced Passassin to take a tighter line through La Source, and then had the sizable cojones to hold it side by side through Eau Rouge and Radion.
Now, the question mark is now, is anyone going to get caught out under the VSC restart? Because I don't know if you've noticed, but in the game, like you could be like 2 seconds in the green, and then it'll come up the VSC ending, and then it puts you in the red straight away. So it could catch some people out.
Could do. I've not noticed that actually, but I've heard people talk about it. And we are racing again. No one appears to have been caught out in terms of getting a penalty, but Passassin right on the back now of Calzo. Bolly in there as well. Big winner then off the start is Fruitful, up 5 places already. Loser, of course, Spod, who is out, but other than that, it's only going to be Arbar down 2 places. Everybody else appears to be fairly evenly matched. Of course, the VSC will have helped with that.
What's Passassin going to do? He's getting in that slipstream using the ERS. Calzo's placing towards the middle, so this will be a bold move, but
he's not going to have enough, is he? Not quite. Well covered by Calzo. Because DRS will come into effect next time around, and you would suggest that Calzo will be a sitting duck for that. But you never know. Anything can happen between now and then. As we see...
Oh, someone's round.
Andy is round, and Milan is round as well, both on the exit of Brussels. I noticed that Andy was battling with Denzo, so I don't know if there's been a coming together there as they went side by side. Milan as well lost the back end of his car.
And look who's up into the points already. It's Fruitful.
Yeah, up into P9. The People's Champion is on a march. He's a man on a mission. As we see Milan there, I would imagine that's going to be some cooked rear tyres not helping him through P1. You have to say, Fruitful, having got from P17 to P9 in the space of 2 laps. Let's have a look at his gap to the leader at the moment when we cross the line again. Once that timer resets. Fruitful, he's only 6.5 seconds off the lead now, and on the alternative strategy as well. So I think Fruitful is actually in a very good position right now.
Yeah, he is. Especially like DRS is activated now. It's going to bring second, third, and fourth into it. If they start squabbling, they're going to just keep losing time.
Assassin going for it. He's not close enough. Not this time around. He'll play the long game. He's a smart cookie. As we see Milan enter the pits. Let's see, is that for damage or is that... Ah, no, to retire. So we've lost Milan.
I think Electric Blade at the moment, because he is now last. There were yellows at the time, so
Yeah.
slipped down the order.
We could see, I think that's Konzo who's going to be putting Jamie James under pressure. Jamie James's tyres looking quite poor at the moment, I have to say. According to Tass, he's the only man so far to get his tyres into the 30s in terms of wear.
Oh,
and that's a spinner.
That's Volley.
That's the third place man. He's spun out at Stavolo. Just saw him on stream on the left hand side in the runoff area. We were looking on board with Calzo.
Wow, what a development.
So that puts the Aston Martins in a very good position, particularly Passassin. Look, 3/10 now between him and Calzo. This, you would say, is going to be a move more or less made here. And he makes it through Rouge and Radion up the hill. DRS, I don't want to look behind him.
Calzo, he wasn't even fighting it really. He wasn't using his ERS.
No, it was a foregone conclusion, I think.
Yeah.
He might as well use his ERS now to stay with Passassin. And then have a go.
Past Jamie James.
Yep, that was one we could see coming. Seabuck's now the next man to line up the Haas.
I wonder if Jamie James is running. Oh, he's gone!
Oh, he's gone! That's big wing damage. Is he still in the race? He is. He's somehow kept all four wheels on it. I was about to say, if I was him, I'd be tempted to think about an early stop and an undercut. That's forced his hand now, but that's another place for Fruitful as well. Brings Hasmania into the points. The man I said might struggle.
He's keeping his nose clean,
yeah,
taking advantage of people's misfortune.
Yeah, giving my predictions a right kick in the nuts as well. Good on him.
Yeah, well, before that spin, I was about to say about Jamie James. I was wondering if he's running maybe a more particular low downforce, because he seemed to be struggling in Sector 2. Even in qualifying, he was losing a lot of time in Sector 2, and he's just lost it at no name. And
yeah, a little bit too much curb, wasn't it, on the exit? Probably trying to put the power down to stay close to Konzo, and it's cost him a little bit.
Yeah, but look at Calzo now, back up front.
Yep, Calzo right up alongside Passassin. Retakes the lead. But these two squabbling. Look, Cameron now within a second of his teammate. And we've got a spinner at Eau Rouge. Is that Matt or is it Fruit? That's Matt. That's Matt at Eau Rouge.
Not his favourite corner this season.
No. I think he's kept it out of the wall. Indeed he has.
Yeah, so the problem we've got, well, we haven't got it, Aston Martin have got it, is we're approaching the safety car. Not the safety car, the pit window, sorry. And one of them's going to have to go before the other. So who's going to get preferential?
I mean, Passassin's leading the championship, so you would suggest it will be him. They may want to try an interesting strategy where Passassin pits opposite to, or pits the same as Calzo, and Cameron goes for either an over or an undercut to try and get ahead, which is doable. I think once, if you pit a lap early, you can often get roughly a second or two on the car ahead.
I'd be tempted if I was these Aston Martin guys. Oh, that's a McLaren
So
round.
that's Andy.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd be tempted if I'm the Aston Martin guys to get Cameron in first, get that undercut, to get ahead of Calzo, and then Passassin switch positions later in the race.
Yeah.
Bring home the 1-2.
Here we go. Easy move this time. for the Aston man to retake the lead. And if they keep going at this rate, Persassin will win it purely by virtue of being an even number of laps in this race. Cameron is coming into play. So I've engineered with the two Aston boys in the past, and it's if I was there now, I'd be like the Cheshire Cat with the prospect of that strategy option. Denzo look right on the back of C-Box. The medium tyres now, I think, coming into their own. The crossover point is here. A lot of the soft runners hitting 40%.
Might see an Aston Martin pit this lap. I mean, they can go up to what? At competitive pace, 8 laps, would you say?
Yeah, potentially, yeah. I mean, it just depends how comfortable they feel on the medium tyre, if they've had some practice running. We've got Denzo looking at the back of C-Box as well. We might see a move into the boss stop. He's going for it, into the boss stop. Denzo on the inside. C-Box holds the inside of the right-hander, squeezes the Ferrari wide, but DRS for both drivers should allow C-Box to hold position. Persassin is in. He's going to go for the undercut on Calzo to try and get...
Oh, he's been held. He's been held in the pits.
By Conzo, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. So, Calzo's teammate...
with some teamwork of their own.
Yeah, you'll be pleased to see it. Denzo now going for the move on C-Box round the outside. Down the camel. Easy enough for the Ferrari driver. Cameron right on the back of Calzo. Gets a tank slapper. Keeps it out of the wall just. Minor wing damage for the Aston, but I think that'll be him coming in this lap. For certain. Was putting Calzo under pressure. A little bit of dirty air and a little bit too much curb. But, great skill to keep that Aston out of the wall. And himself in the race.
Calzo has to respond this lap. Persassin, although he got held up in the pits, he's come out into a 6-second gap of free air.
He has, yeah. Currently, gap to the leader is 16.5 seconds to Persassin. I'm not sure what the delta is for a pit stop around here, but it's shorter than you would expect. So obviously you get the inside of turn 1.
He's gaining hand over fist.
Yeah, he is half a second there already. Fastest lap at the moment is Calzo's with a 45.4. We'll see how long that lasts. Calzo has he stayed out? He stayed out. Calzo going for the long stint on the softs then, which to be honest, that's what I would have expected earlier on. Cameron then pitting now, wing change for him, and we'll see if that helps him to get ahead of Calzo as well when the pit stop comes. It depends how much further the Alfa Romeo's going to go, but I think there's two very interesting points actually I was wanting to have a look at. First is that Conzo is ahead of Cameron now. The second is that Conzo is on the hard tyre.
Interesting.
Yeah, and so the field now starting to spread itself out a little bit. We've got Bolly closing in on Andy Wu for the coveted 14th place. He too's on the hard tyre, although he had that incident at Stavolo, so that's to be expected.
Oh, look who's in P3.
Yeah, he's in there. As we see Bolly get ahead of Andy Wu, fairly simple move with DRS. So in terms of tyre wear though as well, Fruitful's looking after his. Compared to the guys around him as well. I mean, you've got Hasmania in P5 who has the best tyres of anyone who started on those mediums. As we see Calzo now pits. So we will see Passassin go through. That much is a given. But by how much is the key. As Passassin's tyres 2 laps older. And it's 3.5 seconds, roughly, the gap between the two. So we'll see if over the next 14 laps, Calzo can make that ground up. Passassin in a commanding position at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, even with getting held up in the pit lane, the Aston boys were slow to release him because of Calzo's teammate coming down the pit lane, but he was still able to. Well, we saw it, didn't we? The gap was coming down corner by corner by 10.
Yeah, I think, I'll be honest though, I think if Calzo had stopped last time round, instead of going an extra lap, he still would have come out in front because of that hold. I think going a lap longer could pay off. Long run, I mean, it's not going to be a massive amount of wear on those tyres compared to Passassin, but it might make the difference.
Calzo just, I guess his tyres aren't really up to temperature yet. Nearly just binned it, but kept it going, pointing in the right direction. Gap nearly up to 4 seconds now to Passassin.
If they weren't up to temperature before, I imagine the slide he'll put through and we'll have them there. C-box on the back of Conzo. His hard tyres not giving him the performance that he would want. And you would imagine C-box will have the move done, if not into La Source, then into Le Com.
I think these hard tyres, towards the end of the last 5-6 laps, they'll be as good, if not better, than the medium tyre, but they take a few laps to get up to temperature and to extract the performance.
Yeah,
he's going to be defending for a while.
He is, and we're going to see C-box and I would imagine Cameron as well get past him in the next couple of laps. Here goes C-box. A straightforward move for him. And we've got Denzo leading at the moment with Fruitful in second place. Both those guys still to stop. Then Passassin, our net leader, with Calzo, his main rival behind, who's closed up actually over the course of that lap. Not by much, but he's getting there. Looking at ERS levels as well. Let's jump to Calzo and see what his ERS level is. Yeah, so Calzo has more ERS than Passassin as well, which I think is quite telling, especially if he's starting to close up.
And here come the penalties. Rage Bolin just triggered the 3 seconds. So the Cameron, yellow is in sector 2.
That's, I believe that's Matt at Stefania chicane. Having a bit of a moment.
Just got past Conzo in the process.
Yeah, threw Blanchim on there as well. Calzo with a new fastest lap, 45.2.
Holy, he's taken a second out of him in that lap.
I wonder if Passassin's had an error somewhere as well, because that was... He's gained half. I mean, look at that. He's absolutely flying.
Yeah, he has used 20% more ERS that lap, but that shouldn't account for a second.
Well, no, that's the thing. I mean, Passassin... Passassin's not in traffic. As we see C-box make his way past Tasmania. The AlphaTauri yet to stop.
Yeah, unless Passassin's trying to nurse his tyres a little bit, because they are a couple laps older.
Could be, as we see Cameron go for a dive bomb down the inside of Brussels to get ahead of Tasmania. Great move there from the Canadian. And Tasmania letting Conzo through. He knows that's not his race.
I just see Conzo deploying ERS halfway through Puon.
See, that's just the difference. Like, all the guys
On
who
hard
race in,
tyres.
yeah, the guys who race in this tier regularly are just complete freaks when it comes to stuff like that. It's things that the rest of us, mere mortals, would never do.
Yeah.
So I can barely make it through Puon flat in most conditions. Never mind like deploying ERS and being on a hard compounded tyre. Denzo into the pits. He's going to drop down probably to about P8, unless he gets lucky with Hasmania coming in as well.
He's gone quite early, hasn't he? 10 laps is quite doable, but I think I would have stretched a bit longer.
Well, Fruitful is the man who is going to be stretching them a little bit longer. Hasmania as well, actually. He's going long. As we see Cameron now with a move on C-Box for 4th place. What will be net 3rd. He's back to where he was.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Calzo, he's got that gap down to 2.2.
And Bolly has retired. Is that on the pit wall or in the pit lane?
I think it's the pit lane.
Yeah, yeah, there would be a bigger yellow flag zone, I think, if it was. Yeah, it is. His car's just set off against. That's in the pit lane. He's lost out. Denzo out of the pits on the soft tyre now, right on the back of Konzo. And I think Fruitful and anybody, if they have an engineer in the Williams garage, will be interested to see how Denzo's performance is, because Fruitful will be coming out in the gap behind him when he stops, and Denzo is absolutely flying, but it'll be interesting how those tyres hold up.
Yeah, it's also going to be interesting for Fruitful to decide who he's going to be battling, because Denzo, although they were, close proximity on track, Denzo's got 6 seconds worth of penalties and Fruitful has none, so he has a bit of a window to play with if he's decided that's who his race is against.
Yeah, Hasmania is in. He should be able to get out ahead of Matt, so still be in the points. As we see Passassin retake the lead from Fruitful. Fruitful, of course, still to stop as well. And Hasmania just behind Matt, actually coming out of the pit lane.
Well, 10th position.
This is going to be that quiet point, isn't it, where everybody sort of settles in for that middle part of the race where not a lot happens. Seabox still holding onto the back of Cameron, not quite got enough to challenge though. But Denzo is closing in, the man on the move.
At this point in time, Fruitful in 2nd position is just absolutely praying to the gods for a safety car, so we can get that free pit stop and obviously come out in top 6, top 7. I'd imagine a few others would probably pit for softs as well, wouldn't they? So.
Yeah, I think at this point we'd see everybody pit for softs. Yeah. So I don't think there's anybody who's started on a set, is there, who's still on them? No, so I think we would see everybody. As we see Denzo with the new fastest lap of 44.5. Oh, C-Box, big kick of oversteer out of La Source. Denzo right behind him now. This move will be easily done into Lecom, but will he try it earlier?
Well, VSC, because Jamie James is in the wall. Exit Stavilo.
Yeah, he is. I just saw the wing damage pop up there. Again, though, he's kept all 4 wheels on it. He'll be hoping now of a full safety car. It's just come at the wrong time for Fruitful, hasn't it? Half a lap earlier. or later, he'd be able to swing in, get a fresh set of boots and go, but quite. Denzo won't be happy. He had that move on C-Box sewn up there. Back to green flag racing, and Jamie James has retired in the pits. Electric Blade is in for a fresh set of tyres. Stumpy, do you think that Fruitful's just going to keep going and see if a safety car comes out?
It's quite possible, isn't it? That's the point I was alluding to before with Denzo pitting quite early. I mean, the medium tyres can go for quite a way. As Fruitful is demonstrating, but you can't always plan your strategy. No, he's in, so he's in, but you can't always plan your strategy around a safety car because sometimes they just won't come.
So Denzo now coming through past Fruitful. I would imagine Fruitful will be out somewhere between Konzo and Arbar. So I think a top 5 is definitely on for him.
There's Matthew round, causing the yellows.
It's on the exit of Fania this time. Here comes Denzo. There's nothing going to stop him this time. And he even gets a toe off Cameron for his trouble to make life even easier. Takes 4th place. So let's have a look at the gap to the leader then. Fruitful 19 seconds away from Passassin. Do you know what? I would be... If I was a betting man, I would say Fruitful's on for a podium still potentially here.
It'd be tight, wouldn't it? I mean, he's going to have to get on it because what's that? 10 seconds to Denzo. Obviously, Denzo's got 6 seconds of penalties, so that's he's got to make up some time.
Yeah, so Cameron's got a penalty, so's Konzo. Some of the other guys around him, I would imagine, are going to be pretty close. If we have a look. Denzo, to be fair, is 1 away from 9 seconds. Calzo is 1 away from 3 seconds. Oh, Fruit himself is 1 away. So he needs to be careful. I think everybody there is going to end up staying on those tyres. Denzo, another fastest lap, 44.5 again for him. He's now right on the back of Cameron. 7 to go.
It's going to be some kind of superhuman effort from Fruitful here. I think, 6th is a foregone conclusion. 8 lap old hard tyres versus fresh softs. That will be... Denzo's got past Cameron.
Yeah.
Can he get a gap without picking up more penalties?
Yeah, he's got to get 3 seconds and keep himself with a clean nose before the end of the race, which, never mind, commentator's curse there. 9 seconds for Denzo, 6-second gap then now, but he can push. He's got a couple of warnings to play with. Fruitful then, not really closing up as quickly as we've seen Denzo being able to attack with those tyres. Which is surprising, really. You'd have thought he'd have been able to be even quicker with less fuel and the guys around him on older tyres.
Yeah. Maybe his style or his setup just isn't suiting that soft tyre, because he sort of, he made plenty of attempts to qualify, and for some reason couldn't get on with it, could he?
No, and that would explain a lot. Denzo 44.1 now as the fastest lap. That will have been DRS assisted, of course. Assassin now 4 seconds clear at the front of the pack from Calzo. And I think now we'll see a move from Fruitful. on Konzo. 4/10 the gap. Konzo with a poor exit from La Source. Look at that, it's not even effort. Good job from Fruitful up to P6. Seabox is 6.7 seconds up the road, and there's Calzo's penalty. Passassin, though, has picked up 2 warnings in the last couple of laps. He was clean beforehand. So, potentially some issues there for the Aston man.
But maybe he might see that message, and you know, the gap's 3 seconds as it is, well, 3.7, nearly 4. And obviously, Calzo has a penalty. So
oh, Fruitful! Has to cut the Fania chicane there. Missed his braking zone, I think, had a lock up. It's not like Fruit, normally we see him inch perfect, but Konzo now right back on his tail.
It's strange to see, isn't it, from Fruitful? It's such a scruffy qualifying, and as soon as he's got onto these soft tyres, he appears to be struggling again.
Yeah, I wonder if he's overheating them.
Possibly.
If he's running a lot of wing to try and make up some time in the middle sector, then it could be, but he's managed to pull far enough ahead of Konzo that there's not going to be a serious challenge there for position. Fruitful has lost ground as well to Seabox ahead of him. Seabox on 9-lap-old medium tyres. I know he... Oh, it's Denzo!
That's a Ferrari. He's facing the wrong way. And Fruitful picks up a penalty at the same time. Denzo.
It's a shame for Denzo. That's going to potentially cost him. Oh, he's gone again. Those rear tyres not looking good. Definitely not looking good. He's cooked them. You need to take it easy, man. Oof. He was on for what potentially could have been a podium. Depending on how the race panned out, he's now probably not going to get points. Oh, and he's gone at Blanchimont now. As well, definitely not getting points now. I'd imagine we'll probably see him pit and retire, which is a shame. It's a shame, really, because he's had a brilliant race, and yeah, that's to be expected. It's a shame.
Although it is frustrating, you know, when you spin, you're trying to collect it, and because your tyres are overheated, you just...
Yeah, it's like driving on ice.
It's frustrating, but it is realistic, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's like driving on ice. There's nothing you can do about it. It's just a shame that it's come at this point in the race and not 10, 15 laps ago. And he would have been able to potentially recover.
12 left out of the 17 that started.
Yep.
We've lost Denzo, James, Bolly, Milan, and Spud.
Yep. Spud going on lap 1. The others making it a fair chunk in. But I'll be honest, I think in terms of the on-track order, Hasmania may be the only one who will improve, and that's against his own teammates, so that won't be a particularly difficult overtake. looking at the penalties then, everybody with 3 seconds, who has one, apart from Matt, who has 9 at the moment. So Seabox, if he can get himself 2/10, could jump up ahead of Cameron for a podium.
Minds think alike. I was just about to bring that up. He's got, so the rest of the lap and a couple more to try and improve.
Yep. Looking at the warnings at the moment, Cameron is 1 away from 6 seconds, so he might not even need to do that. Seabox has 1 in the pocket. Assassin is 1 away, but it looks a foregone conclusion that he's going to be taking the victory here, as we see the two Alpha Tauris form the old multi 2-1.
Losing a bit of ground on this lap. Gap's up to 3.5 now.
Yeah, he's used a lot of battery as well. So's Cameron though, so they are about the same.
Obviously a good understanding of the race, knowing what's up for grabs.
I think in terms of the championship, Cameron will want to hold on to 3rd. For Aston Martin. Seabox, competing in what is his COS debut, will want to have a good result. Just watching through Eau Rouge. Flat through Eau Rouge as well, which at this point you would imagine is fairly easy. A couple of laps of fuel on board.
Fight's almost over unless Cameron picks up another penalty by the looks. He's losing time rather than gaining it. Seabox to Cameron.
So we're going to have to think about jumping across to our leader then. Assassin, qualified on pole. Had a tough challenge from Calzo, and I think, with hindsight being 2020, he would have pitted after Assassin to hold the lead, and then he might have had a chance at being able to mount a challenge for the race win. But as it turns out, Assassin's going to win his 4th race in a row. Here at Spa, he starts the final lap. One more time around.
Oh, he's picked the penalty.
He has.
Yeah, like you were saying a few moments ago, Calzo, he did 2 extra laps. And I think that's pretty much the gap that they were looking at now, isn't it, really?
Yeah, I mean, the hold that Assassin had in the pits was the gilt-edged piece of luck that Calzo was looking for, really, and if he'd stopped in there, he would have at least held position at the front. Whether he would have been able to hold Assassin off for all this time, the pace that the guy clearly has, I don't know. And unfortunately, we'll never know.
It got looking a bit tasty, didn't it? Because Calzo started reeling him in, didn't he? But since then the gap's just opened back up. Assassin's had it under control as one of the Zalbar has lost the front wing at Eau Rouge. And is that going to allow, can Matty Robbo get around in time to sneak a point?
Well, he's got 9 seconds of penalties. I would imagine probably not, but has Zalbar got damage? That's oh yeah, massive damage, yeah. So potentially then, for Matt, we'll jump across and have a look soon as we see Assassin then come through the final corner, through the bus stop chicane, drives for the line, and takes the victory here in Spa. Calzo then another spirited drive from him in second place. Cameron with his joint best result in EU1 takes third. He's happy with that. Seabox takes fourth place. Could have been third, but he'll be happy with that. Fruitful from the back of the grid. He's happy as well. Takes P5. Konzo, the second Alfa Romeo. He takes sixth. Hasmania is going to be on for P7, which I think is an outstanding performance from him. The EU3 driver jumping up to the top tier takes seventh place. Then we'll jump now to the battle for the final point.
A bowl of eat your words, aren't you? For Hasmania.
Well, I like to think of it as encouragement.
Yeah, it certainly worked, whatever it was.
Right. I'm not sure Matt's going to have the time to be able to make that up on our bar. Had a lock up there into the bus stop as well. He's going to take 10th on track. I think Electric Blade will get him on penalties. Indeed he does. And Arbar as well in the end.
I think Matty has a strong hate for this track this season.
Yeah. He's not had the best of luck, has he? So it's a double Aston Martin podium, and then Alfa Romeo up there as well from the early dominance we saw from the Alpha Tauris with Jensen and Rowan. Those guys not being able to attend has hurt their chances so far. We saw a good showing from Denzo, but ultimately a spin late on cost him what could have been a podium finish. And we saw a great recovery drive from the People's Champion to finish 5th. But it's all about Passassin. Can anything actually stop him? That's what I want to know. Can anyone get there, get ahead of him, and leave him behind? And I don't think, at the moment, I don't think there's anybody in COS that can.
That's an insane pace, isn't he? Absolutely. Yeah. He's dominated, like we said before. Calzo closed the gap, but Passassin just opened it back up.
Yeah, just went for it, didn't he? So, final points paying positions then. Konzo in 6th, Hasmania P7, giving me a swift jab in the knots of righteousness. Kitten Petter and Andy Wu deputising for McLaren 8th and 9th. Electric Blade takes the final point. Arbar and Matty Robbo 11th and 12th. DNFs for Denzo, Jamie James, Rage Bolly, Milan and Spot. So another cracking race from EU1. Passassin will extend his lead at the head of the championship over Jensen and Fruitful. Aston Martin now, I believe, will take the lead of the Constructors' title away from Alpha Tauri. But we'll wait and see for the stewards' reviews to come out before publishing those tables. We hope you have enjoyed the show. If you are desperate to see some more Contest of Speed action, let's be honest, why would you not be? You can tune in to our YouTube channel at any time to watch back every race we have ever streamed. They are all uploaded there afterwards. If you can't wait till then, we're back on Monday for round 10 at Suzuka. And I don't know about you, Stumpy, have you checked the weather for Tuesday yet?
I haven't yet, but I just hope there's no typhoons.
It is thunderstorms predicted, so best of luck.
Ruin my weekend.
Nah, need to be doing some rain dances that it happens the day before. So EU4 will be happening on Monday, then you can watch Stumpy and myself make complete fools of ourselves on Tuesday, and EU2 will be on Wednesday next week. The AM guys, they're on Tuesday and Wednesday nights, 9 PM Eastern or 2 AM in the UK, and then 9 PM on Thursday you can tune back in to see EU1 do battle around the historic circuit in Japan. We hope you have enjoyed. If you have, make sure you hit that follow button on Twitch. Subscribe if you're watching this back later on YouTube, and check out our social media pages. We hope to see you again very soon. Thanks again for watching. Good night.